And Gwyneth Paltrow's Utah ski trial entered its sixth day today. And so far, this entire trial has been a big case of he said, she said. Paltrow is being sued by retired optometrist Terry Sanderson over a 2016 skiing crash for $300,000. He says she slammed into him from behind and left him with a bunch of major injuries. Paltrow, on the other hand, says Sanderson slammed into her and that he is exploiting her wealth. Sanderson's team has called witnesses so far that confirm his version of events. Today, Paltrow's team called their witnesses, including a biomechanical engineering sports expert who basically contested the star prosecution's witness, reaffirming Paltrow's version of events.
We have two versions of the accident. We have Mr. Ramon's version and we have Ms. Paltrow's version. I've assessed both using physics and biomechanics, and I'm sorry to say Mr. Ramon's version does not meet with the laws of physics. It's not consistent, internally consistent, and Ms. Paltrow's is.
And NBC News correspondent Maura Barrett joins me now. Maura, it seems like today was a battle of the experts day, and you just heard that expert talking about the laws of physics. What stood out to you?
Kind of an unexpected review of high school physics today, Gotti. And that biomedical engineer, his entire job is to focus on studying the mechanics when it comes to skiing, what your ski boot does when it gets into the ski and what it needs to do when you're skiing. And so he, using very scientific stick figure drawings to explain this physics so that it could be understood for everyone, basically said that scientifically, the way that Sanderson said he was hit by Paltrow and then fell, those injuries he described wouldn't be possible. And so this expert basically said the way that Paltrow's description matches up makes more sense by laws of physics, centers of gravity, how those injuries would have happened. Now, we also heard depositions from Paltrow's kids who were skiing with her that day. They corroborated her story. But what really stood out to me today was a medical expert witness that the defense brought in. They laid out an exhibit that I want to pull up on your screen here, listing out a long litany of health issues that Sanderson faces. But the things that really popped off the page is the fact that he is blind in his right eye and severely impaired in the other. They said that he routinely walks into walls. He would ask people standing on the right side of his field of vision to move so he could see them. And he even adjusted his skiing habits to ski on one side of the slope so that he wouldn't hit anybody in his blind spot. Now, we know that this collision between him and Paltrow happened on the side of the ski slope, but we don't have any video. So it really ultimately comes down to all this witness testimony, Gotti.
And I saw that he routinely walked into walls. Did that stick out to people in the courtroom?
Definitely. I mean, this is something that with this long list of issues with medical history and the fact that Sanderson himself has said, I might be misremembering things, I might be misspeaking. I mean, this was 7 years ago that this incident happened. And now looking forward in terms of the trial, we expect to see another 2 days of testimony before jurors can deliberate. And like you said, it's a matter of he said, she said. They're going to have to decide who hit who. But the other thing that I wanted to point out as fellow skiers, you know, the golden rule is that you defer to whoever is downhill skiing. Right. And that's something that attorneys kept bringing up in court today. They said, you need to figure out who you think was skiing downhill, because that ultimately will decide who is at fault. So even if they can't figure out the he said, she said of it all, it's really, you have to defer to that person that's skiing in front of you, and that who could be at fault.
So much of this really hinges on who was uphill and who was downhill.
Exactly. Not necessarily who hit who, but if you're skiing ahead of someone else, you need to get out of their way, because that's the golden rule in skier code.
And what comes next?
Basically, there's another 2 days of testimony is what is expected. The judge said this is set to 8 days. That's the furthest it can go in terms of testimony. We expect to see more witness experts be brought in, and then the jurors will deliberate, and it's in their hands.
Maura Barrett, thanks so much.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.